mic check. Okay, right. So this is a new month, October. It's okay. I haven't changed my calendar. Hold up. Right, it's October. There will be Halloween this month, as well as a very important day for kids, Children's Day, which apparently I didn't remember. I keep remembering Children's Day as a different month, but apparently it's this month. So, oh my god. Okay, in any case, the goal for this month is to write prompts. Yes. So I kind of like, it was inspired by Dame Butterfly. She wanted to do the prompt kind of writing exercise. And then it's in October, so she was like, I want to do something like a Halloween themey. And I was like, okay, so why don't I make this into a server event? And I just made that server event. And in case you're wondering, my server event is basically this. So you join the server, you want to know how to join the server, get into the link, the description, there should be a link there, join, and then get yourself this thing called Wordsmith, so you can find it in rows, which is somewhere here. Damn. Okay, use this, get your roles. Okay, the one that you want is this one. Pretty interesting. So here you get the rules. Okay, so I'm not gonna run through this. Okay, just kidding, I'm gonna run through this every session. So these are all the things. The prize is Nitro Discord for 1 month for the winner who gets most votes. So you can also participate just for fun if it's not for the prize in itself, that's okay. Right, and then after that, okay, here's the interesting thing. So the vote system and everything, these are pretty normal. The 24-hour thing is also pretty normal. The one that is interesting that might be hard for some people would be number 7. So all prompts are limited to the length of one Discord message. Okay, so for example, this entire thing is one Discord message. It's about 2,000 words. So if you have Discord Nitro, please don't cheat. 2,000 characters, alright? So these are all limitation, not based on time, but based on like word count. And there are a lot of people who are like, but I write prompts like 1,000 words. Well, too bad. This is the exercise. Less is more. That's the key concept, is less is more. So the prompt topics will be chosen, and then no form of plagiarism is allowed. So this is the bonus. So everybody can vote with a cookie. I do vote with cookies as well. So anything that is valid to the theme that qualifies, I will give a cookie, like by default, okay? And then anything that really, really, really impresses me will get a heart emoji, which so far I have not seen any. I might not, I don't really know. Okay, and then here, this is like the prompt. So why do I give 2? Because some people have time zones. So if I were to give 1 on like that day itself, and there's no guarantee that I can stay up till midnight or past that every day, so I would like to give heads up notice. So 1st October is someone wakes up to find that they have a squid head in place of their human head. And 2nd of October, which is today, I'm not gonna do 2nd of October's entry tonight. I'll do it like tomorrow. So it's vibrating tortoise, and I've already seen some really interesting things. And then for all the writers who participate, your names will be here in score tally. This is probably for me only. Anybody who joins this will be kicked out. Right, so 1st October, these are the scores as of now. So Droopy is in the lead, she has 4. Then Dame Butterfly has 2, Sakrishi has 2, Overlord Venus has 3, and DHE has 2. So there is no limit to what kind of thing you can submit in a prompt, as long as you come up with the same topic. It matches. Okay, it has to match. So poems, I accept. 4-liners, I accept. Haikus, I accept. I accept just basically anything that you can qualify writing in one Discord message and it's related to the prompt. So yeah, without further ado, let's do this. My aim is to keep the stream below 30 minutes. Right, so this is the submission. Ding ding, contestant number 1, Dame Butterfly. So Jasmine's right, in English not the best, but I will try to read past this. So Jasmine trudged to the bathroom, sing routine, different day. Shuffling past the mirrors to reach the toilet, she paused for a moment. Oh, what was that? Backtracking, Jasmine turned to face the mirror, befuddled by the reflection. A weird long pink shape with beady eyes and a tiny mouth. Nothing like a typical haggard morning face. Jasmine cautiously rose a hand to inspect it. Clammy, slimy, and rubbery. The little tentacles dangling down her cheeks felt familiar. The feel matched the look, and Jasmine gave one a tug, causing her to wince. Definitely not a dream. Jasmine could feel panic welling up inside as reality hit. Now what was she supposed to do? She couldn't leave the house like this and go alone to work, let alone go to work. What had she done to deserve this? Like a flame doused in water, her panic attack stopped the same moment it started when she noticed something else. The weird head changed colors. Deep pink turned frosty blue. Okay, I want to... Okay, never mind, I'll hold it back. Okay, like a child with a new toy, Jasmine tested different emotions to see how the new head responded. Each one brought on a new color. Like one of those color-changing disco balls. The tentacle mouth thingies moved as well. Each one seemed capable of doing its own thing. Jasmine's mind began to race with excitement as it filled with ideas as she tested out their capabilities. No more having to suffer through breakfast or other boring hand-kneading tasks. These little fellas could feed her while her hands kept busy with other things. Jasmine would make them tentacle snuggies to keep them from sliming anything. Real-world concerns could wait. Right now, Jasmine wanted to drown the euphoria that quickly consumed her at the realization. The tiny mouth made it hard to smile, but that didn't really matter, did it? Never having been a great smiler anyways, terrible English by the way, it just became one less thing to worry about. Jasmine's hands rubbed together in glee as the little head tentacles mimicked the action. This marked a new start to a better life. Okay, so this one over here does qualify in the what's that called? The topic is in place. So someone woke up, they have a squid plate. They have a squid head. That is okay. But the thing that I will not give a heart to, okay, firstly, I will look past the missing word syndrome. It's a ADHD/dyslexia thing. Okay. Okay, my computer just fucked up. Alright, I'm not... Is it still running? The stream is still running? Yes, the stream is still running. Okay, good. Or not. Okay. Definitely something wrong. Okay, my thingy is wonky. My electricity is not stable. I am very scared. Okay, in any case, so firstly, you can see that the words don't actually fold to the next one. It's written passively, whereby you put the cart before the horse. That is not a good writing technique because it makes it difficult for the reader to actually enjoy reading. We have to spend extra time thinking about what you are trying to say, and that is not a good writer. I would say it's egoistic. You try to sound more... How do I say? Most people, let's admit it, okay, writers tend to think that they are smarter than most people, which is a fact, okay, it is a fact, but the ability to actually master this art is to make difficult things, sound simple to people, and this definitely isn't it. So I will not give a heart. I gave a cookie, but I won't give a heart. Why? Because it's not entertaining enough. It is draggy. The pacing is not captivating. One sentence does not lead to the next sentence. It doesn't pull me along smoothly. So this is a no heart for me. Just no. Right, so take note, when you are writing, please try to rephrase this into something that's easy on the eyes and easy to follow along. Like for example, when you are shooting a movie, you don't go towards the details and then zoom out unless it is a suspense kind of thing. More often than not, you will actually take a wide view and then zoom into a scope of something that you want to focus on. That is how normally you should be writing. You should give like an introduction, not just like, okay, the molecule's name is zetomate. No, you start off with, okay, what is a molecule? You start that flow. This has nothing to it. Like sure, there is a flow of the predictable kind of start and whatever not. So another thing about this is it's very predictable. There is no twist, there is no turn. Okay, maybe the twist and turn comes in here whereby it could change shape and whatever not, and then how they actually develop to finding users for this thing. But at the same time, the character is dead. There is no way that I can relate to a character like that. So the characterization needs to be a little bit more. You can let go a little bit more. It's very typical, I would say. This is a very typical essay that I'll normally receive from my students. So yeah, the maturity as a writer is not there to express vividly. So for a prompt, this is good. I hope to see improvements. Right, this one, Droopy. Right, I gave cookies as well. He's in the lead. Let's see why. So just like that, Edward was awake again. His sleep felt like one of those cigarette breaks after a soldier's meal at work. No matter, it was time for him to get up for work. He recited his work routine while laying wide awake on his bed. God, he wanted to sleep for a few more minutes. Buzz buzz. There went his alarm. Edward glared at his phone in the bedside drawer, but his other eye stared at the ceiling. His eyes seemed to be moving strangely. Seeing all the way back to his pillow was a noble experience, but it only meant watching how his angry boss scolded him. Okay, this part here. Right. Edward sat up to yawn and wake up his body. He felt so numb last night, so he figured he would be numb again. However, his lips seemed to have solidified into a beak. His cheeks also felt hanging from his face. The man groped his chest and held onto a beard curled into soft yet fleshy drills. The man finally walked to the mirror, a squid. His head turned into a squid. However, if someone squinted, a semblance of his own face remained in the reflection. After all, he was told that the gap between his big eyes was too wide. Staring at his face was a waste of time. Whatever happened to him was bothersome, but he figured HR would only count it as his face swelling a bit. He rode the train to work. He heard how people scuffled away and how children cried, but at least no one stood too close. Edward sat on his desk and opened his computer. He checked the angry emails about him using the microwave the other day. The whole pantry still reeked from the smell of raw fish. "Edward, how many times do I have to tell you? We have a dress code." His boss came and grabbed some tentacles. "No beard or hair an inch beyond the chin." Pop. She tugged on the tentacle. It was like it was on sale and popped Edward's squid head off. The squid fell onto the floor and moved towards the door. "I'm resigning." Edward swung across the shiny floor, hoping the CEO's cat wouldn't fancy him on his way out. Right, this one I actually quite like. But okay, few places just now when I read, there were a few places that were a little bit choppy, which is I can understand because this is a word prompt, so there might be a little bit of a constraint to work with it. Okay, similar to above, here characterization is on point, but the ability to actually switch smoothly and engage. Okay, some sentences work well, right? Some sentences work like really well, but some sentences just jump from one place to another. For example, this part here. Okay, so at first it was like the alarm ring, and then after that he's like their eyes, wow, okay, and then after that a noble experience. So first we are like thrown to a place without prior introduction, so this is one part that I would say. And then here, I think you can skip this part. Like, this is considered redundancy. Like, you don't have to narrate or tell every sequence of the action. Sometimes you can cut a scene, you can actually skip over, you can actually imply in just like one word or like one sentence. It doesn't have to be this way. So this part here is his realization to what he has transformed. I like the build up here. It gives a little bit more suspense and mystery, but it also makes the reader question like, what the hell is this? So for example, if I did not write the prompt and the person did not actually come in reading the prompt, they would be so lost. This part could be slightly better reworked in a sense. So this suspense here needs a little bit more from me before I can give it a heart. I like this part over here, but I think it can be better characterized by like how he hated people, and this was perfect for him. Like maybe compare his day before, and it's like a shift before he actually says he's resigning. This part here was a little bit too sudden, so the build up wasn't quite enough. Other than that, this is actually one of the very good reads that I think it is. Right? Okay, so Sakushi is the only person over here who actually wrote a poem. Yeah, so initially I thought they did not quite follow the prompt, but then I read, it was like the last part here. This part I was like, okay, yes, I finally see it. So I gave it a cookie as well. Right, I'm actually quite impressed. So Sakushi may not be the best poet, but for a novice poet, he got a lot of these things right. Okay, I'll go through stanza by stanza to actually give you my few cents of this. So I wrote poems before, but I'm out of touch. So it has been like many years since I did it. Right, poems, no, it's not necessary for you to rhyme poems. That's what I want to clarify before people in the comments start commenting like, oh my god, he's a terrible poet because he doesn't rhyme anything. No. Okay, poems can rhyme, poems may not rhyme, it doesn't have to rhyme. But most importantly, I think in a poem, it's about the rhythm and the flow, which is why when you write rap lyrics, which I recently did and I learned, right? So rap lyrics is similar to poems, so they just put a beat to it, that's all. Same thing. Your rhythm has to be there in a poem, and let's just take a look at this. Right, so Sakushi starts. Wedding through the wedding. Okay, I think he meant the wedding with an A. Okay, I'm not too sure. Okay, this part I am a little bit confused. Okay, wading through. Normally no one says through. Wading through the salty wind met. Two eyes of the man and beast. A putrid kraken. Stench of fish. This one is good. This first two opening line not so clear. Okay, your prepositions. Mind your prepositions. Okay, and then here this one is good. A stubbly captain, stench of peace. Why is this good? Okay, for those of you who do not study poetry, let me just explain quite quickly. I'm on timer. Okay, so a putrid kraken, stench of fish. Okay, so this is like subject A, description. Subject A, description. So a putrid kraken is in relation to a stubbly captain. And kraken and captain kind of rhyme, so this is good. Stench of fish, referring to kraken, is also stench of peace, referring to the captain. They have similarities, but they are on different sides. So stench of and stench of. This is good. Right, so fish and peace kind of rhyme, doesn't have to rhyme, it's still good. This is a good line. Right, entailed inside a dance of fates, of hate, regret, and purest rage. This is also good. Entailed inside a dance of fates, this is normal. Okay, of hate, regret, and purest rage. This is what I mean by rhythm. So the rhythm is caught really nicely over here. Right, hate, regret, purest rage. Okay, although it doesn't rhyme, fates and rage, it is close, so I'll give it a pass. So up the mast and surf the waves, we're gonna eat kraken tonight. So it doesn't have to rhyme, it's fine. Why it doesn't have to rhyme? Because if you look at this, it's constantly changing according to the theme. This is what I want to see. So eat kraken tonight, kraken tonight, kraken tonight. If you see the whole poem, it's kraken tonight, kraken tonight, kraken tonight. So I don't know what the title of this is, but kraken tonight is pretty much the theme. It is good. Okay, the repetition of it. So second stanza, cannons fire spears. That again good. This is the same as this kind of thing. Okay, it's a comparison. So the wicked beast shall fall, whom tentacle rose and befell. Okay, instead of befell, I'll try to, it's okay to repeat fall here. Befall, it's fine. Right, if it were me, I'll probably try to change it to befall. The waves arise from depths, a pillar of waste, and cast the, okay, this is no good. Cast the man into eternal green. Okay, this is no good. The rhythm here is broken. So if you want to actually take this down, you need to repeat a pattern somewhere. This cuts the flow. So I won't say that this is the best, but for a novice poet, this is a good attempt. Right? Grab a bucket, unsink the ship, will defeat the kraken tonight. Unsink the ship. I'm not quite sure what you mean here. Grab a bucket, unsink the ship. Okay, this part here isn't clear. So while poetry is a little bit more abstract, it has to be abstract in a way that can be sensible, I guess. That makes sense. So like wading through the salty wind met. No, this is not a good line. Then unsink the ship. Doesn't make sense either. This one needs work. So golden locket in captain's hand inside her beloved's head. This is no good. You kind of cut the flow in here. So this line could be longer to meet this line, or this line can be shorter to meet this line. Okay? Yet his mind and heart clouded by ink, the temptation he cannot. This is no good. Right? Resist, he grabs his spear and jumps the ship into the green void. Again, this entire thing is not so flowy. Okay, help the cap, attack the beast, we must beat the kraken tonight. Okay, this part still okay. This part not so well written. Right? Rotten waves impede his march, yet he pushes through with mocking scoffs. Tentacles enroot his soggy wastes and hold him up high into air. Okay, this part, no, not so, quite losing it there. So where two beasts with entangled fates met for the first time. No. Hold your spears, the cap is lost. Let's elope the kraken tonight. Let's elope the, not sure what this is. Questionable choice of words again. Okay, the kraken tonight thing is still going on. Okay, this is acceptable. His trusty spear, the captain thrust and plummets. Okay, yes, trusty spear, thrust, yes, good. Okay, and plummets into the beast. Whose iron eyes met iron spear. Iron eyes met iron spear. This is good. Okay, this is an abstract technique, so while I wouldn't actually suggest this, it is acceptable. Okay, and through okay, this technique, it is acceptable, but personally would not prefer it. Begets lobotomy, the Kraken shrieks, and wills and flips. Okay, and shrieks and wills and flips. This is good. A final tide he sends to ship that cast men into the void. Hold your breaths and pray to God. Don't fall to the Kraken. Don't fall to the Kraken tonight. Okay, this is interesting. This one is interesting. The storm leaps as sunrise climbs above the wet corpses of men. Fate befell the terrible beast. Their final rests have been met. Okay, this part here, it would have been great if you have chosen a little bit more words to rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme at the end. It can rhyme in the beginning or it can rhyme in the middle somewhere because you have the pacing here. So I would suggest something like that instead. Right? And my computer just flickered out again. That's kind of creepy. Okay. A broken plank holds the last man. Okay, the captain who's still alive. Though as his consciousness meets the ocean breeze. Okay, meets breeze, good. A terrible truth reveals. Okay, in here, what I suggest, because it's broken from the previous kind of technique, I would suggest you to bring down this to a different line. Bring down this to a different line. Something like that, okay? So that you have more flow. Alright, tentacles hang where beard once was. My computer flicked out so I can't see this. Okay, tentacles hang where beard once was. Ink drowns out the sight of sun. Sun, small letter. The cycle of wrath continues its path. Okay, cycle of wrath continues its path. Good. Okay, and resurrects the Kraken tonight. Okay, this part here, so, is the only part that relates to the prompt. Someone wakes up to find that they have a squid placed instead of a human head. So yeah, it deserves a cookie. So these are points that you can note if you are writing a poem, that the flow is more important than the rhyme. And like the rhythm is more important than what you write. But at the same time, do not neglect the content. The content is pretty important in itself after all. So don't write questionable stuff just to make things sound fancy. It can be simple. You can be Dr. Seuss, like a cat in a hat, that kind of thing. Don't be afraid, okay? Just write those. And then good thing about this is that it's really creative with the different kind of twists and turns. So it's not a sonnet, it doesn't have 14 lines, it's not a haiku, it doesn't have a 575 kind of thing. It's a new century kind of poem. So these days, anything is accepted, but check your flow. Check your flow, try to choose better choice of words. Rhythm, don't be afraid to repeat itself, okay? It's about the flow. Don't be afraid to remove some words as well, okay? And don't be afraid to start new lines. That's the takeaway. So we have Overlord Venus now. Two more. Okay, so Overlord Venus submitted this last night. So I like how they actually put in the title for the prompt. It's not required, but it's nice. So yeah, and they did it in like one Discord message as well. It's amazing. With really good, like, you know, spacing and all. I like this. Okay, so like it's easy on the eyes. So Perty Lawn Saga, Rise of the Squidimon Mascot. Yeah, it sounds like Overlord Venus. So after doing several streams with me, he's gone a little bit off the rockers and into the void. Yeah, don't mind him. So Squid Hug! Chia! A ghost scream mixed with laughter as a squid-headed mascot hugged her. She then turned around, shouting at her mom. Mom, take a picture! Squidimon looks so cute! Which is true. Now, don't trouble them so much. Her mother could only sigh at her daughter's unbridled enthusiasm as she clicked enough pictures to run her Fixtagram for a year. Okay. Maybe edits needed. Okay, it's fine. Following that, the girl reluctantly parted with the mascot and went away to see other attractions. The mascot, addressed as Squidimon, waved its hand at her before letting out a deep sigh as a female voice resounded. That was somewhat exhausting. She stared at a large clock placed atop a lamppost nearby, muttering, "Still 2 hours left for my shift to end." It was the end of the month. As she was low on her allowance, Perty Lawn had searched for some part-time jobs to make ends meet, and among them was to play as the mascot character of Squidimon, one of the most popular among Whiskeyland. But as her job was the most lucrative in terms of pay, Perty Lawn took up the job, regretting it immediately after. For an antisocial moth like her, oh, I like this. Okay, interacting with people, especially energetic kids, was the hardest. Okay, I'd like to stop here and like, you know, just praise how far Venus has come along. So this is really good. So the pacing is there, the characterization was there, everything was there. Okay, the one thing that I think could be worked on for Venus himself is the English. Because they have, like, forsaken the language for a while, it's a little bit choppy. In some parts, just some details that can be a little bit more, because unlike the other writers who like to use big words and, like, more colorful vocabulary, yeah, Venus can go further in that department, but I still like the ability to express simply with creativity, even without the use of vocabulary, like bombastic vocabulary. So I'm breathing enthusiasm. This one's good. Okay, the other one is where is the antisocial moth? This is good. Okay, so if you do not have bombastic vocabularies as a writer, do not worry, you can learn a thing or two from Venus. Right, this is how you can do this. Aina as well. Aina likes to do this as well. Jupi as well. So I think this is good. Alright, let me just continue. So eventually she completed her first day's shift, dragging her feet to her apartment while still wearing the mascot costume. My god. Too exhausted to change. Not to mention she had forgotten to bring speckles. Okay, this part here. The sentence is too long and too complicated. Chop it. Simplicity is best. Such a shitty day this way. This was probably. Okay, this means was. She slumped on the bed as is. Not sure about this. Okay, falling asleep immediately. Morning, the next day. This is redundancy. Either choose morning or either choose next day, or morning came. Okay, then Pretty Lawn woke up, feeling groggy as she scratched her head, noticing that the texture felt ... different. Okay, this is a very Venus kind of style. This is good, right? Except that you can even put this into, like, the next line for more pacing tension. Right? I'm not sure if it was because of the lack of what was that, character limit, but this could definitely go into a different line. Okay, what? She was alarmed for a moment. Okay, when you have alarmed for a moment, this is quite a mild reaction, no? So what the fuck? And it's like, this is what? Yeah. And this is just what? And then ... So a little bit anticlimactic in a sense. I'm not sure. Maybe the character is this way, but I feel like this could be better expressed a little bit. Okay, she was alarmed for a moment before realizing she had slept while still wearing her mascot costume. My god. Yeah, thank goodness. Her words stopped abruptly as Petillon prodded around in fear, failing to find the zip that should have been there. Okay, this is good. Okay, unable to feel even the zip line. Okay, this part here should probably be in front of here because of sequencing. So you want to find the zip line first before you come to conclude that you couldn't find the zip line and you couldn't find the zip. So you want to actually put in the subtle panic sitting in like a slow acting poison, or like someone over a grill. So do it like slow roast, slow fire. This would have been better. So getting up in alarm, and then it's like once the realization and dread sinks in, the alarm part should probably be in like the next paragraph. It would be like, what the fuck? Yeah, waiting for the explosion, you need to let that sink in and really stew it in before you get a good reaction. So she rushed into the kitchen, taking up a pair of scissors that she used to cut into the costume, only to stare in shock as it ... Okay, this is redundant. Okay, remove this. Too much of it. Okay, stitched back in an instant. No, this is a dream. So Penny Long was flabbergasted, cutting the costume maniacally, despairing to see itself. Okay, in this, I would have rewritten cutting the costume maniacally in despair when it tung. It might be a little bit better as it stitched itself back faster. But suddenly her hand stopped as Petillon noticed that she now felt an urgent need to ... Whoop. Okay. Venus is, yeah. this last one got me in stitches. I was like, when I read this, I was like, what? This was going nowhere, but at the same time it was entertaining to read. So this is good. I gave it a cookie, and if I could, I'll probably give it 2 cookies, but unfortunately it's not there yet to really give it a heart, because there are places that I think needs work. Like Venus is trying to get out of his comfort zone. I can see the effort over there, and by far he's one of the most improved people I've ever come across as a writer. Right, so the last one for yesterday's prompt is actually DHE. Yes, right? Yes, this is 2nd October. So the moment I see this date, anything else that comes after will be disqualified for like the previous day. So this one is probably like the new one. Okay, I'll just read it tomorrow. Right, so here. So, what did you do to my head, Mary? Okay, Lucas screeched from the bathroom. Mary woke up groggy at the sound of his brother's... Mary's a boy? Okay, I'm confused, but okay, his brother's shouting. She was sleeping soundly. How dare he interrupt her peaceful sleep? What? I didn't do anything to you yesterday. Yes, you did. Come here. Okay. From this alone, okay, you can tell the personality of the writer itself. It is needs more maturity, I would say, because it gives off a very juvenile vibe whereby it's sound effects. One person says something, another person says something, one person says something, another person says something. It doesn't really encompass the you have no focus. Okay, when you write, the one thing that you have to take note as a writer is, although a writer writes in third person perspective, focus is required. Who are you writing this to? Whose point of view are you writing it from? And when do you do the switch? If you have more than one character, especially if you write FL, female lead stories, you have two main characters. Okay, because you can't fall in love with yourself, you need to write from two people's perspective, which is why female writers are usually better, or romance writers are usually better at the perspective thing. Right, this is kind of important to learn. Okay, so this one here has no perspective. It can be improved. Right, so frustrated, this is cutting to Mary's POV, which is okay. This part here, it should be a little bit more. So you want to give suspense, you write it from Mary's view. You want to show anger, you should write it from Lucas' view. Alright, frustrated, she hopped off her bed and stomped to the bathroom, cracking her knuckles. He's so gonna get it good. This is the POV as well as a show. Okay, instead of frustrated, you can just delete this word. Okay, right, she stomped off to the bathroom, cracking her knuckles. Okay, people would know that she's frustrated, so don't tell, show. This part here is a show. This part here is a tell. Usually when you show, you don't tell. Alright, just writing basics. Okay, she pranked Lucas a few times before, which many of which were harmless. Okay, cutting a small strand of his hair and dyeing his hair pink was some... Okay, again, this same as Dame Butterfly, this is passive, rewrite it to active. Okay, but was some of them, but she remembered she didn't even do anything to me yesterday. Passive, rewrite to active. Okay, as she neared the bathroom, a shadow of a monster appeared on the wall. Who was that? A monster? Okay, this part here, you're supposed to use pacing, so I would suggest using it in different lines as well. She armed herself with a broom and frying pan nearby. She took a step forward. Okay, this part here requires a little bit more expansion in terms of tension. This is pacing. Alright, in case you're wondering what that is, and if you don't know what that is, there's a free e-course link in my description of today's live stream and all my other videos if I'm not wrong. Go and look it up. Look at what is pacing, why is pacing important. Alright, the shadow moved and she felt chills running down her spine. Did the monster know she was there? What did he do to his brother? What did monster, okay, pronounce. The monster walked out of the bathroom, revealing Lucas's body and a squid head, and a squid on his head instead of a human head. Okay, good. So while the prompt... You don't have to like literally copy the prompt and put it in here. It's not the keywords, it's the idea that I want to see here. Okay, was he trying to jump scare her? My beautiful hair, it's ruined. Lucas yelled, what did you do? Okay, he sounds like a little bitch, but that's fine. Okay, he's a terrible joker indeed. However, his reply seemed genuine, considering his explosive nature towards her. Okay, yep, so this is granted. So, hey brother, what did you do to your head? Cosplaying as discount clue. Okay, I have no idea how to say this right, to be honest. Cthulhu? I don't know. Cthulhu. Something like that. Okay, please forgive me if I got this wrong. Okay, Mary pointed her finger and he said, you know, blah blah blah, has an octopus head, right? What are you even saying? Okay, take note, while this is acceptable in the new age of writing... Oh my god, okay, hold on. Okay, while this is actually acceptable in new head of writing, please do not overuse this. This is not so becoming. You can use a variety of techniques to actually do this and express frustrations, not just using caps. This is a very, how do I say? You only use caps when necessary, and this is not very necessary. This is an overbite, we call it overbite. So it's too much. Tone it down, find different ways to express it. Okay, use skill. use skill to actually express it. Okay, then my hates become a monster, my beautiful face. Of course, he wasn't lying. After 10 minutes of, okay, when you're actually writing, this is not acceptable, but since this is informal, I'll accept this. Anything less than 10, please spell. Alright, after 10 minutes of poking around and pulling his tentacles and squid head. Okay, of course, he wasn't lying. Okay, this part here, you should be splitting it into 2 sentences so that it's coherent. You're trying to join 2 different content in 1 sentence and it's not making sense. Right, well, I guess your head's really a squid. Mary packed her bag. I'll be going off to school now. Okay, this part here is very casual. I don't give a fuck what is happening to you. I'm late. Right? This Mary has a personality that I really like. Lucas is a drama queen, so the characterization here is good. We just need to learn how to expand using writing techniques. Okay, as the door shut, Lucas had 2 questions in mind. So again, spell this. How can he go for a date with no hair? How will he get his head back? Okay, in this case, you want to actually dig deeper into Lucas's POV, just like how you dig deeper into Mary's POV over here. It's like he's so gonna get it. This is deep POV. You want to write this here, not just the questions. You want to also focus on his thought process. You also want to focus on his reactions itself. It's like you're just gonna leave me here, you bitch. Yeah, it could be that kind of thing. So a little bit more. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit more. It would be improved. Okay, defeated, he decided to do what okay, missing words here. Do what any conscious. Okay, questionable choice of words, but okay. Conscious hairdresser does best to their bald head. Okay, down here, 2 wordy, just go straight to the point. Okay, keep it simple. No need to display your ability to make complex sentences by saying the same things. Instead of, shall we eat dinner? Shall we partake in the meal of the evening? Okay, no need to do that. That's cringe. Right, buying a wig. Let's hope they had a size. Let's hope. Who is let's? Let's is let us. Don't break the 4th wall if 4th wall is not the purpose of your writing. Be careful of your perspective. Again, your writing POV really matters. So let's hope that they had a size. He hoped that they had a size for him. It would have been much better. Okay, always please make sure your POVs, you have to get that right. Alright, did I make it half an hour? Nope, I exceeded by 7 minutes. 8 now. Crap. Okay, in any case, so this is my review of all these things. So for those of you who actually participated, you can feel free to tell me in the comments, or like in the description, or like anywhere that is not in this channel, because no chatting in this channel, about what you think of yeah, you can feel free to defend yourself. You can feel free to question more. You can feel free to ask about things that I have not covered if I have not covered. And for those of you who want to join, yes, you are very welcome. Just join my server, get yourself the writer tags, and then you can start. So tomorrow I will be going through, is it? Tomorrow I will be going through Fire Breathing Tortoise, so that is going to be the prompt so far. Droopy and cat. Yeah, okay, and Dame Butterfly has joined. So I read some, and yeah, it kind of fits. So yes, yep, okay. So it fits. So yes. So I gave them cookies. Waiting for more. Okay, 3rd of October. The theme is just 13. So it's up to you what you want to write. Okay, right. That's all for today. Thanks for joining. I will try to do this like daily, no guarantees, because I have no idea if my schedule permits it. I will try daily, but there's like no fixed timing. That's the thing, no fixed timing. So most of you guys will watch playbacks. Alright, that's all. I better end now and then get to editing my chapters because I haven't done shit. Alright, bye